Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Ratan IT. This is your host Subhas. So today we are going to discuss a topic about V model. So guys, let me open my Edit Plus. So guys, in our previous videos like of SDLC, I discussed about I discussed about what is SDLC, what are the types of SDLC. In that SDLC model, I have discussed about waterfall model. If you guys remember. So talking about SDLC, software development lifecycle. In this basic software development lifecycle, in today's topic, we are going to discuss about V model. First of all, my question is why the name suggested as a V model, or why V model, or what is the advantage of V model? Talking about V model, you should know that many of the companies, if I will say very near still now in this current generation or this current day to day in the year 2017 2018 this year, so still this year also near about 70 to 80% of pure testing companies. When I'm saying pure testing companies, companies known as, you can talk about so those companies which are onto the pure testing domain, so talking about Val Labs or Signity, so these are the pure testing domain companies. So these companies believed in V model rather than waterfall and agile. So now question, when I'm saying V model, so you must be thinking that why they are going into V model rather than waterfall and agile, because earlier people only use waterfall, then they came to currently means many companies are using agile, but only testing domain 70 to 80% of the testing domain companies are using V model. You should know why. Before you know why, let me draw you the diagram of a V model and how it looks like. So obviously the first phase, okay, directly I should write it down. So the first phase, as always, it consists of your requirement analysis. So the first phase, all as always, looks like requirement analysis. So requirement analysis. So after requirement analysis, after requirement analysis, what will came into the picture? After requirement analysis, it was system design. System design. After system design, it will be your architectural design. Architectural design. After architectural design, it will be mobile design. It will be mobile design. So, guys, okay, you talk about mobile design, architectural design, or whatever maybe it is. Remember one thing: this is requirement analysis, right? So after requirement analysis, this is system design. System design here, it's also people called it as a system design. People also call it as a planning phase. The system design is also known as planning phase. Planning phase. Now, this is architectural design, right? This architectural design is also known as high level design. High level design. Next, after this one comes the mobile design. This is known as a low level design. Okay, so first requirement analysis, then system design, then architectural design, then mobile design. So as system design is also known as planning phase, and architectural design known as high level design, and mobile design is known as a low level design. After that, let's see what comes. So after mobile design, it is the phase of a coding phase. So it will be, in this phase it will be only coding. So after coding, so this is coding. After coding, the first test comes is your unit testing. This will be your unit testing. Clear? After unit testing, it will be your integration testing. This will be your integration testing. And sometimes, when I'm saying sometimes in between unit testing and integration testing, in between these two, there is something called as component testing comes into the picture. After integration testing, there will be system testing, and after that it will be UAT testing. So as it looks like a V structure, that's why it is known as a V model. So first is requirement analysis, then comes the system testing, system design, that is a planning phase, then architectural design, then mobile design, then coding, followed by unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and UAT testing. So this looks like a V model, that's why it's known as a V model. Now let's discuss one by one what it represents, or what are the things, or what is this V model. Talking about a V model, so particularly this comes under SDLC model, where execution process happens in a sequential manner in a V shape. So here execution happens in a sequential manner in V shape. Clear guys? Execution happens in a sequential manner in a V shape. Next, what has happened? So now what do you mean by V? What V represents? So here V represents verification and validation. Here V represents verification and validation. Now the V model is basically an extension of a waterfall model, and it is based upon the testing phase. Means, see guys, for every single phase in the development cycle, so we have development cycle, right? Software development life cycle. So basically every development cycle there is directly associated with the testing phase. So this is like for every development there will be a testing phase. For example, you can say that, let's talk about requirement analysis. For requirement analysis, we have like UATs testing. Then we have a planning phase or a system design. For this one, we have a system testing. Then we have a architectural design. For architectural design, we have a integration testing. We have a mobile design or low level design. We have a unit testing. So this is what it means. Like for every development phase, for talking about requirement phase, system design, architectural design, mobile design, for every requirement phase, or for talking about for every software development phase, there will be a testing phase. That is, for requirement analysis we have unit testing. Then talking about system design, we have a system testing. For architectural design, we have integration testing. For mobile design we have a unit testing or then a coding phase. So this is the way of a life cycle what it is representing. I hope it is clear, guys. Next, so we went to the V model, like the V model corresponding testing phase we have seen with respect to how development and testing can occur simultaneously. Then, so when I'm talking about something known as your requirement phase, so how we have seen. So what do you mean by requirement phase? Here we have seen requirement analysis. What is do you mean by requirement analysis? First of all, the business requirement analysis. So what do you mean by here requirement analysis, business requirement analysis? So here business requirement analysis is this is the first like in this will always be the first phase. So for always be the first phase for SDLC. This is the or this will always be the this will always be the first phase of SDLC. This will always be the first phase for SDLC, means software development lifecycle, or like that. Next, the thing is that so obviously it should always be in a customer perspective. Clear? So I'm not writing a new line here. I'm writing it should be in a customer perspective. What do you mean by customer perspective? Customer perspective means yes. So when I'm saying customer perspective means whatever the business customers want, whatever the client wants, based upon the clients, this phase will flow like that. Whatever the client will want. If the client will say that I want this product, I want that product, I want to make my product should work like this, based upon that you should work on that. So this is what this phase means. Basically, this phase involves the detailed communication the your with the customer to understand his expectation and exact requirement. So, but basically what will happen in this phase? Basically, you can say communication between communication between the customers and the business analyst of our office, or you can say of our team, the communication between the customers and the business analyst of our team to get the expectations expectations and you can say that expectations and kind of a exact requirement. And the exact requirement. I'm sorry guys, I have mistaken this one. Clear? So and the exact requirement, so this is all about so this is the basic like who will work with this one. So basically here customers and the BA team of our company, I think yeah, so you can say this one. So this is the basic functions of a business requirement analysis. We'll get into the and talking about this particular acceptance test design planning. So this is your business requirement analysis. After business requirement analysis, we have you can say system design. System design. What do you mean by system design over here? Yes, any idea what do you mean by system design? So when I'm talking about a something known as system design, here system design means like the detail of the requirement. System design means it will contains the what it will contain? It will contains it will contains the detail of the requirement. It will contains the detail of the requirements. So when I'm saying detail of the requirement means, see, suppose here customer told that I want a piece of calculator or I want a application which will not only calculate non simple application like in the BODMAS rule, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and all, but also the scientific things will be there: sine, cos, then your square root, everything will be present over there. So this is all about the requirement. So based upon the requirement, how or by which tool or which programming language you are going to use to develop this particular application. So which particular programming language or which tool you are going to use for developing this particular application, that is known as a system design. I hope you're getting my point, guys. Getting my point? So this is known as a system design. So basically all kind of a planning things will also be done over here. The high level planning things you can say, or can say simply planning things. Planning things will also be done in this phase. So planning things also be done into this planning phase. Clear? Now, so this is all about, so like it is the time to, because this time, in this time it is a design to complete the system. Now the system design, for particular this system design will also have the understanding and detailing the complete hardware and communication setup for the product under development. Now, when I'm talking about the detailed design, sorry guys. So here I'm talking about the detailed design. The detailed design of what? The detailed design of the application. Application which is going to develop. Which is going to be developed, the detailed design of the application which is going to be developed based upon your system design. So this is what it happens, like this one. Clear, guys? Now, so basically, so first of all, so when I'm talking about this phase, now you can see the parallel of this phase. In the parallel of this phase is, what is the parallel of this phase? Is the system design. Now system testing. So guys, remember one thing: after this phase only, then the testing side, you are going to start your test case preparation or test execution. So this is the phase where you are going to do actual test execution parallel to this one. Clear? Now, so this is all about a system design. Now third, after system design, here as you can see that we have architectural design. So here we have architectural design. So here we have architectural design. So in this architectural design, the specification should be designed. The particular specification, all the specifications should be designed in this phase. You can say the specification should be designed. Guys, you can note it down these points, as these points are very much important. Like they basically ask interview questions from this phase. Basically from this point, like what is the system design, what is an architectural design, this kind of things. Now the specifications, like these specifications should be designed in this phase. Now when I'm saying the specification should be designed in this phase, usually more than one technical approach should be proposed to the client. More than one technical approach so basically more than one technical approach to be proposed to the client. Now when I'm saying more than one technical approach, why more than one technical approach? Because for example, if you give one technical approach, like this will be how it looks like, this will be how my application will go, like you click on this button, it should work like this. If customer doesn't want this particular that thing what you have made, then he will say that, okay, for example, let's say the customer wants some particular application, let's say of a IRCTC application. You know what is an IRCTC application, right? Let's say customer wants an IRCTC application. Now you make that particular application and you have given to the customer. Clear? And you have given to the customer. Now after you given that to the customer, if customer have paid you, let's say for 5 months, and you are told them that, okay, after 5 months I will give you this particular application. Now customer has already paid you for 5 months. After that 5 months, what you are doing is that you are giving a particular, you have made that you kept your promise, and you made that particular application and you're showing the customer. While you're showing that to the customer that time, after 5 months, customer will say that, no, we didn't like that particular project or the application what you have made. So what will you do that time? So already 5 months has been completed, customers has paid a hell lot of money, and you're obviously, you're the people who are working under you or in your company, they have also worked very hard for that one, and 5 months they have put a lot of efforts. But the thing is that, okay, so but the thing is that customer, when customer will say that, no, we don't like that, then you need to again start it from scratch. And customer will also say that, again, you're taking 5 months, extra 5 months of time, so totally you're taking 10 months of time to making a particular one thing. So that is not correct, right? That's why, so more than one technical approach should be proposed to the client. Getting my point, guys? Why you need architect high means architectural design? Clear? Now next thing, so I told that architectural design is also known as a high level design. So architectural design is also known, let me write it over here. So this is also known as a high level design. So this is also known as a high level design. Now my question is, why this is also known as a high level design. So this is also known as a high level design because, see, the system design is broken further into modules and then taking of this to a different functionality. This is why this is known as a high level design. Clear, guys? Great. Now, the thing is that when I'm saying that, like the data transfer or the communication between the internal modules, let's say you're working with small features, small modules, the data which should be transferred and communication which has to be done in between the internal modules and with the outside world other than the system. So this is being designed at this phase, basically all the communication and what is the data it should be fetched, all those kind of things. Now within the information and integration of this test can be designed and documented in this phase. Basically the information, basically the information, which information, the information and the integration tests, the information and the integration test which can be designed in the information, the integration test can be designed in this phase, in this phase. Clear, guys? Now next is, so this is all about architectural design. Next is about the module design. Next is about the mobile design, or this is guys, you can do one thing, don't call it as a mobile, this looks very odd. My bad. Don't call it as a mobile design, call it as a module design. Yeah, call it as a module design, it will be good. Module design. Okay, so the first thing about the module design is, this is also known as low level design. Now guys, see, here few things. Now here I am saying that, let's say talking about a calculator, same calculator, Let's say you are having a company and a client came and he's telling see or he or see somebody is telling that they want a calculator. Now when they are saying that they want a calculator, that time what will happen is, now you are going to give him a piece of means you are making a application of a calculator and you are going to give him, but that time what will happen is, so there will be small features of a calculator. Let's say addition is a feature of a calculator, subtraction is a feature of a calculator, then division is a feature of a calculator, multiplication is a feature of a calculator. So these are all the small features of a calculator. Clear? Now when I'm saying module design, when I'm saying module design or low level design means here you are making a small feature. Small feature in the sense, let's say a small feature means a addition or a subtraction or a multiplication, small feature you are making. Architectural design means when you are integrating addition with subtraction, subtraction with multiplication, and all the small features you are integrating with each other. Then, what do you mean by system testing? System testing means when you are completely making that system. Clear guys, are you getting my point? Let's say you are making an IRCTC website. In the IRCTC website, you have a reservation, you have cancellation, you have a history to view the tickets. Clear? Now, talking about a module design will be a single when you are making a single like only let's say only when you are making only reservation page or only cancellation page, only history page. So this will all about a module design. But talking about your architectural design here, what suppose you are creating an ticket, when suppose you are what you are doing, you are making an reservation, okay, you are making the reservation page, but think about the application perspective. Suppose you have done the reservation, so those ticket you can cancel, which ticket you can cancel, which you have, which means for those ticket which you can cancel is which reservation you have done for the future. Clear? Means the data, data name, for example the date, the PNR number, the seat, the train number, the data should flow from the reservation page to the cancellation page, right? This is all about the data or the information. It should be, so that is known as architectural design. Now when you're making the complete application, that is known as system design. So when based upon the client what they want, you have given entire thing with respect to the URL, you have given the production, that is known as a business requirement analysis. So I hope you are now getting my point. Clear? So this is all about module. Suppose this is it. Now this is about module design. Next, let's see what the module design will do. I hope you are getting the clear picture about the development perspective. Now as I told you, this is also known as a low level design. Now this is the most important you can say the design which is compatible with other modules in the system architecture. This is what is this is like this is the design which is compatible with the design architecture, which is compatible with the design architecture. Sorry guys, is compatible with the all the other design architecture, you can say compatible with the all other design architecture. Great. Now this is this is all about the model design. Then okay, now the thing is that basically the unit tests are the essential part of the design. Obviously, you know, right? Whatever you are going to make, that should be unit tested and everything should be done. So this is all about your module design. So after module design, what we have is we have coding. So when I'm saying coding means whatever these designs are made means, let me write, means whatever the designs are made, whatever the designs are made, that has to be coded, right? That has to be coded, right? Now, who will code that? So that is what about coding, correct? Now, who is going to code this one? Who is going to code? Now, who is going to code? Obviously, a developer is going to code, correct? Developer or a coder is going to code it. Now, these are the basic two things. Now the actual coding of the system, I mean to say the system design or the actual of architectural design or for a module design, correct, is going to be happen in this particular phase, means all the levels of coding what we have going to discuss. Now next thing is that the best suitable programming languages, let's say you're talking about means Python or Java or Ruby, C hash, Perl, or all the particular programming language is to be decided based upon the system and the architectural requirements that we have been discussed, correct? So that programming language you are going to use it over here. Now the coding is performed based upon the coding guidelines and standards. So okay, let me write this thing because it's a very important point. Coding has to be done based upon the coding guidelines and standard. So when I'm saying coding guidelines and standard, that means that there are some certain coding guidelines and standard. So while I will discuss about the coding means Java and Selenium, I will let you know. Then also I'm telling you guys, let's say for example, for every 3 or 4 lines of code, you need to explain what you have been written. This is a best coding standard. For keeping a space, you cannot give a space like that only. Like if your senior has asked why you are given your space, you cannot say that my wish. No, it's not your wish. You cannot give a space like that. So there should be always a justification for whatever you are doing. Even if you are giving a full stop also, there should be a justification. Clear? I will let you know all the coding, international coding guidelines and standard for this one. So just keep your patience and watch my videos. Thanks, guys. Now, talking about the coding standards and all, and this one, the code goes through the numerous code reviews and optimized for the best performance. Clear? Obviously, review should also be done. Talking about the reviews, who will going to do the reviews? Reviews to be done. Who is going to do the reviews? It's not only your senior or senior manager or managers. It should be also the peer review. She is very much important. Peer review is important. When I'm saying peer review is important, what do you mean by peer review? Peer review means your colleague. Yes, the guy who sits next to you, you're thinking that the guy is a big dumbo. No. The thing is that why peer review is important. Let's say you are working on a particular scenario. Clear. Suppose your manager asked you to get an output of 6. You have wrote a code of 2 plus 3 equals to 6, or so I'm sorry guys, it's my bad. 2 plus 4 equals to 6, 4 plus 2 equals to 6, 3 plus 3 equals to 6, 5 plus 1 equals to 6. You have wrote this code, or 6 plus 0 equals to 6. What your peer will do that in his mind it can also come like 7 minus 1 equals to 6, 8 minus 2 equals to 6. So these are also the coding standards, right? This can also come into a different scenario. So this is why if you're going for the code review based upon the personality of the person, the coding standard will differ or the scenarios will differ, then new ideas will come. So that is good. Why that is good? So that you will learn a lot and the application will be huge, stability of the application will come into the picture. That is why coding and peer review is important rather than your manager review. Clear? Next, talking about, so this is all about your coding. After coding, you have a unit testing. After that, you have a unit testing. What do you mean by unit testing? Great, you guys know about what is a unit testing. Let me give the point as a 6. Okay, so when I'm talking about something known as a unit testing, what do you mean by unit testing? Obviously, unit testing. Who will do the unit testing? First, my question is who will do the unit testing? Array or what happened? Control Z. Okay. Who will do the unit testing? It will be done by the developer. Unit testing will be done by the developer. Obviously, developer will do the unit testing. Now, your developer will do the unit testing. What do you mean by unit testing? This is the first basic level of first basic level of testing. So when I'm saying first basic level of testing, whatever the developer has developed that is working or not, they are going to verify in the screen. Means screen level verifications. Screen level testing. This is the first screen level testing should be done by the developer, and this is the first basic level of testing. That is a unit testing. Clear? Or you can say the unit test basically designed in the module design phases are executed on the code during this verification phase. Now this unit testing is a testing at basically your code level and high level. Clear? High level, which helps in your eliminate bugs at very early stage, though all the defects cannot be uncovered by the unit testers, or you can say the unit testing. Sorry guys. Now, what is the next phase after unit testing? So we have, okay, we'll go with the integration testing. Prior to that, I will cover the component testing. Component testing. What do you mean by component testing? Any idea, guys? I will wait for a few minutes. Any idea about what is component testing, why we require component testing, or this is a completely stupid level of testing you guys think of? Hmm? So when I'm saying something as a component testing, when I'm saying something as a component testing or component testing means this is the first level of testing which has been started by a tester. A tester cannot do unit testing, or tester cannot do sanity testing. So when I'm saying something known as a unit testing, that means that when I'm saying something known as a unit testing, or sorry, when I'm saying something known as a component testing, that means that when a particular application or even a small feature of a particular application is going to be tested, that is known as a component testing. So let me write this point for you guys. Toolset. When a small feature when a small feature of the when but basic small feature of the application is being tested, this is known as a component testing. You can say this is the first this is the first level of testing will be done by a tester. Clear? When a small feature of the application is being tested, this is the first level of testing should be done by a tester. So this is known as component testing. Clear guys? Next. After component testing, we have what is known as we have the integration testing. Integration testing. What do you mean by integration testing? So when I'm saying about integration testing means what do you mean by integration testing? When I'm saying integration testing means, let's say I want a particular application to be tested. Clear? I want a particular application to be tested. Now, what should I test? Now, when I'm saying about, so when I'm saying like let's say I'm saying that IRCTC application, the data should flow from one phase to another phase. Talking about only when I'm testing the only reservation phase, or when I'm testing only your when I'm testing only reservation phase, or when I'm saying testing only the cancellation page, so that is known as a only one thing, that is a component testing, only single application or single feature when I'm testing with. But when I'm testing the all the features and all the functionality with the data that is flowing correct or not, with the data that is going correct or not, that is known as a integration testing. Clear? When you're testing when when you are testing the data flow, when you're testing the data flow, when you're testing the data flow, or where it went here. Okay, when you're testing the data flow, or when two or more modules are tested together, is known as integration testing. Clear, guys? When two or more modules are being tested together is known as a integration testing. Clear? So this is all about the integration testing. So after integration testing, you have a system testing. Sorry, guys. So please leave me for the spelling mistakes. So next is the system testing. So what do you mean by system testing? So when I'm talking about system testing means, what do you mean by system testing? So system testing means when you are testing the complete application with respect to the browser compatibility, with respect to the security, with respect to the browser compatibility, with respect to the processing speed, everything that is known as a system testing. So same thing. Let's say you guys are talking about you guys are talking about discussing about the we guys are discussing about the let's say the IRCTC page, right, for testing of the IRCTC page. So when you are testing the IRCTC page on the Google Chrome, when you are testing the IRCTC page on the Firefox, is it opening correctly or not, or is it taking time for reservation? Because in reservation, you know, right, within 1 minute there will be a hell lot of reservation will be done. So, or how much time it is taking to do for the reservation, or when everything should be measured and perfectly, when everything is measured, like which comes under, let's say, security. Security is important, right, for transaction and all security. Then compatibility, with respect to the flow of data, with respect to the flow of data, with respect to the flow of data. So this everything, when everything should be mixed and matched and we are going to test, this is known as a system testing. And after that comes UAT testing. Great. What do you mean by UAT testing? What do you mean by UAT testing? Okay, not UAT testing. UAT is itself a testing. UAT for stands for, correct, user acceptance testing. When I'm saying user acceptance testing, this means that here basically what happens is, let's say you are an user, right? You are an user in the sense, suppose, let's say the business or the clients or the customers, they have given you a piece of work to do. You have completed it and you are a tester, you have done it perfectly. After that they are going to verify, right, or obviously they're going to verify that whatever they have given, is it working perfectly fine or not. So whatever they have given, when they will verify that it is working perfectly fine or not, that is, so where they will verify in their particular respective environments. So that is known as UAT testing, means whatever the clients has given you the work, when they are going to verify in a particular application based upon the particular feature, based on particular functionality, so that is known as UAT or user acceptance testing. Clear, guys? This is known as user acceptance testing. Let me write it down for you guys. When the clients or the customers are going to test the application based on what the requirements they have given, is known as user acceptance testing or UAT. Clear, guys? So let's see what we have discussed till now. So we discussed about SDLC V model, that is execution happens in a sequential manner in a V shape. V represent verification validation. So okay guys, I left one thing. What do you mean by verification and validation? Let me include over here. When I'm saying something known as verification, what do you mean by verification? So here verification means testing of a testing of what? Verification is also testing, validation is also testing. So who will do the verification, who will do the validation, and what is what? Verification means testing of the code. Always remember guys. Verification means the testing of the code. Yes, the code review. It so there are many types of code review. It can be informal code review. It can be peer review. It can be a walkthrough. It can be many types of code reviews will be there. So this is known as testing of the code review, informal code review, walkthrough. This is known as verification. Clear guys, this is with respect to help using some tools. It can also be done with using some tools. What are the tools? Like known as sonar is a tool for doing, or some kind of vulnerability check when you're doing. Clear? Now who will do the verification? It will be done by developers. Always, this will be done by the developers. This is known as verification. Talking about validation, what do you mean by validations? Validations means when this is the first, means this is screen level validation or screen level testing. Screen level testing is known as validation. Who will do the validation? It can be done by a developer or it can be done by a tester. When I'm saying a developer means unit testing, tester means other part of the testing what we have. Clear guys? Now it can also be, it can done manually or it can be done using automation or whatever means the same. So you get right what is the mean by verification and validation. Now talking about business requirement. Business requirement analysis means this will always be the first phase of the SDLC, communication between the customers, the BA to get the expectation and the exact requirement. Clear? Great guys. Now talking about the system design, what do you mean by system design? When I'm saying something known as a system design, it means that here it will contains all the details of the requirement, means the planning phase or for the planning phase or the detailed design of the application which is going to be developed. Clear. Now, but next we have discussed about the architectural design, because this is based upon the specification should be designed like in this phase or more than one technical approach. Then this phase is also known as a high level design, and its information integration based upon the phase and all. Next comes the module design. In the module design, this is also known as a low level design, or this design which is compatible with all other design architecture. Then talking about coding, whatever the designs are made that has to be coded. Now who is going to do this? Should be done by a developer. Now the coding has to be done based upon the coding guideline standards. The review should be done, the peer review is important. Now talking about the unit testing, it will be done by the developers. The first basic level of testing, then screen level of testing. So this is also known as screen level of testing. Now the component testing, the when a small feature is being tested and all. Then comes the integration part. Integration means when you are testing multiple data flows, the flow of data has been perfect or not. So these kind of things, and then system testing, and then comes the UAT testing. So we have discussed just now. Then talking about the advantage of V model. What is the advantage of V model? Let's discuss what is the advantage of V model. This so this is high. This is known as high level model, and phase is completed at one time. This is a high level model in which in which the phases are completed in one time. Clear, guys? Next, next line. It works well for the smaller projects and the requirements are very well understood. It works well for the smaller projects. It works well for the smaller projects and requirements are understood. Because the project is obviously small. No, it's simple and easy to use. It is simple and easy to use. Next thing is easy to manage. You can say due to rigidity of the is easy to manage due to rigidity of the model, and each phase has specific deliverables and review process. Each phase has, we can write in a next line, I guess. Yeah, it will be more perfect for each phase has specific deliverables. Specific. Clear. Now, whatever the disadvantages of V model. Talking about the disadvantages of V model, it's very much risky and unsecured. It is risky and unsecured. Clear? Next, it's not a good model for complex project or big project. Not a good model for complex or big projects. Clear? Now, for long projects also it's not possible and big projects. So you cannot give software is produced until the late of the life cycle. So on one more biggest disadvantage is if something is changing. So if the, or you can say if the requirement is continuously changing, requirement. If the requirement if the requirement changing, then it is difficult to handle. Then it is difficult to handle in this particular phase. So guys, this is all about the V model. Thank you for your patience. I hope you learned something from this video. So in the next session we'll see about some other model or some other topic, new topic will come with. Thank you guys, thanks for today, bye bye.